crushing the ice on the Alibaba snowmobile, getting weird looks from everyone we saw on the trail. I searched Amazon, Temu, Walmart, everywhere I could think of, and could not find a single snowmobile for sale, let alone the world's cheapest. So I went straight to the source of Chinese manufacturing, Alibaba, and understand that this brand new Polaris snowmobile probably isn't actually $10,000 off the normal price. But this hot sale, high safety adult snowmobile from a verified seller for only $2,700 could be legit. And if it is real, it is the world's cheapest snowmobile. So I bought it. I mean, they had one video of the product working and they sent it to me. So at that point, I was basically already sold. And with all the fees, shipping included, the total was $3,375. Then 2.5 months later, this guy shows up without a liftgate or forklift after I told the shipping company that we needed one at least twice. So I did the best that I could. I took out my dirt bike ramps, but he was in an extreme rush. He wouldn't even let me take the time to strap down the ramps properly. So of course, one slid off and the whole thing almost came crashing to the ground. I ended up breaking one of my dollies, but it's all good. I'm just glad that this thing is real and I didn't get scammed. But as I was pushing the crate into the garage, homie starts backing up a huge empty trailer into 2 lanes of traffic. So I ran out to try to make sure no one was gonna hit it. And after all that, I'm the one that's crazy. Okay, that was wild. This is what I'm talking about when I say Alibaba just hits a little bit different. I mean, he was in a hurry. I kind of feel bad, but I mean, he was supposed to be here at 7 at night, so I thought I had a lot more time to prepare. Shoot. Now I get to sit back and appreciate the fact that we have the world's cheapest snowmobile right here, ready to build. You can tell that this box was handled with care in shipping because, well, I think those are Vans. We've got some work boots here. Just all kinds of footprints on the top of the box. We're starting strong. This was my first time receiving a crate like this, and I'm pretty sure there's a tool that I could just whack these up really quick, and I should probably buy that. But for now, this is the best I had, so it took a while. Okay, let's do this. Ho, 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 ho. No way. Holy smokes. What did I get myself into? Oh. Oh man. Oh man. I am already seeing some red flags. Okay, the tunnel, solid steel. The runners, solid steel. The skis, very small. The front looks pretty cool. The front looks like a mountain sled, but the tread says otherwise. This is 1/2-inch tread? I don't even know if you can get a modern sled with that low of tread, but look at these tail lights, man. What? Oh no. Does that say 200? Also, I don't see any kind of paperwork. Unless it's in the seat. Well, the seat latch is the only thing we've tested so far and it won't shut. Well, let's bust off this side and see what it looks like from the side view. Maybe it'll be a little more motivating that I didn't just waste all my money. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We are looking at some very, very thin A-arm mounts. The cheapest, heaviest suspension money can buy, and that's never a good sign. This, to me, looks like a really nice Pro Taper knockoff. You can tell that the lettering is like touching each other and not lined up. Nothing is severely damaged in packaging, but nothing is great. This ski wasn't strapped down, so I'm assuming, yep. Hey, this thing has reverse. I actually wasn't expecting that. So the Chinesium is really starting to show. I just pulled this ripcord that's supposed to stop the engine if you fall off the rig. And when I pulled it, this whole thing just ripped clean off. It wasn't even glued in there. And this whole backside came off. And the switch came off. Don't even have it out of the box, and as it stands, this thing wouldn't even turn on. I made good life decisions. After realizing that good vibes weren't going to help me put this thing together, I decided to rip apart the crate so I can actually get around this thing and start throwing on the A-arms. Nothing on the left side was zip tied down, which is why that ski was damaged. But on the right side, everything was nice and tidy, but I did find a few more loose nuts at the bottom of the crate. My first time picking up the sled, it seemed about as heavy as I thought it was, but to be fair, the description did say all steel construction. But to be honest, I'm actually gaining some confidence that this sled will make it to the top of this mountain tomorrow. We have the snowmobile completely out of the crate, which confirms there are zero documentation, but it's going to be pretty easy to set up. We just have the A-arms, the shocks, and attach the A-arms to the skis. And then in the back, we have this seat rest, which is pretty funny that they're advertising this as being able to fit 2 people, because that is a small sled. No way. There is a small hole here, but it is not lined up with where the muffler would come out. I just keep getting a little more and more nervous every minute of this project so far. And the problems just kept coming. These A-arms didn't align with the mounts at all, and I had to bend them out of place so that I could actually install them. Our upper A-arm here wasn't actually connected to the spindle. So I'm gonna guess that this piece is supposed to look up and not down. Bent brackets aren't the strongest thing in the universe, but it's not that bad. As long as I keep it greased, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I had to bend the bottom brackets as well to get this A-arm to fit, but the shock mount went in just fine, and then I attached the steering, and thankfully this does have adjustment in the upper A-arm. So as we change the preload in the shocks, we can also change the angle that the skis are at, which is great because we'd lose a lot of performance if we couldn't do that. As we dig deeper, this is one of those projects that is just getting much, much worse. For one, now that it's up on its side, that track is so short. The suspension bushing is already blown out, hasn't even cycled yet. So that's gonna be rattling around like crazy. And it's like a very hard, brittle plastic. It almost feels like candy. Ugh. And potentially even worse, the oil cooler is here. So this bash bar is all that's protecting it. It's connected relatively solidly up top. But down below, see these little tiny flimsy brackets? And then this one isn't even attached down here. And look at that weld. I realized that reaching the steering column and bending these brackets to get these A-arms in would be way easier with the snowmobile on its side. And there's not even fuel in this thing yet, so why not? Okay, we've got the engine head covered in plastic. It's kind of strange. We've got some screws sticking out just to get caught on everything, like this already seemingly has. The cheapest shocks you could imagine in the rear. At this point, buyer's remorse really started to kick in. You could get a pretty decent snowmobile for $3,000 used. And before buying this, I didn't own a snowmobile, so I easily could have done that, but I'm just obsessed with buying stuff on Alibaba. I think it's so interesting, and it's worth, bending a few A-arm brackets and, wasting a little money and see if it works. Well, I'm not sure when the camera died, but it's done now. We've got everything set up. We'll bring it back upright and adjust the alignment a bit. Adjusting the alignment was super easy, just 2 tie rods, and then I put in exactly 1 gallon of gasoline to see if we could get this thing started. We'll fill it up at the gas station later and see what the total tank capacity is, because that was not listed on the Alibaba listing. See, these 2 holes look like maybe the battery strap would go there. Switch this over. And that, I'm assuming, goes down when it's pulled, so that should be fine. Hey! Digital dash? Okay, it has like a clock. It's backlit. The fuel gauge says E, so maybe it holds significantly more than a gallon. The battery sounded very sad, so I removed the side cover, and that's where I found the pull start. Normally you can access this without removing a cover of the snowmobile, but hey, it has one, so that's great news. But the bad news was it sounded very clanky. I don't like the sound of the pull start. I don't like messing with pull starts. So I'm gonna let that battery charge, and in the meantime, do the most satisfying part of the whole process. Packaging here, definitely a bit messed up, so you're gonna have that. So look at the engine. We have a bit of a fan situation, dipstick chain to the drive. That's our brake right there. Shift linkage, forward, neutral, reverse. Now we're on the left side of the sled. That's that fuel pump there. Cheaped out on every step of the process that you could conceive of. And look at this little tiny baby muffler with loose straps, jankily put in with a bolt with a small head. I've yet to see a single thing about this sled that makes me think, oh, that's pretty nice. Normally you'd have like a hole here that the pull start rests in, right? You have to undo this part of your plastics to reach in here, and then you're pulling it out on the side. That's just not very nice. Since the battery shipped dead and the pull start sounds pretty janky, I have a great idea on how I'm gonna get this thing started, but first I gotta get this crate out of the way. I still don't have very many tools in the garage, so it's gonna be unconventional. I cranked away for a while, and eventually I found the issue. That's it. That's it. There's the culprit. Right there. This red wire got knocked off when that whole system broke. So I tried to start it with just holding it in place with my thumb, but of course that didn't work, so I came back with a soldering iron and some starter fluid, and then this happened. First start did require some starting fluid, and I'm manually choking it with a piece of cardboard, so it ended up working, but hopefully it doesn't need this every time. So I checked the oil, made sure all the bolts were tight, and I think this thing is finally ready to try and summit the mountain. Honestly, a lot of the bolts on there, I mean, everything looks tight and kind of ready to go. I guess we're as ready as we'll ever be. I'm a bit nervous, but, you know, if it doesn't work, it's going to be a long tow home, that's for sure. My friend James arrived with his sled deck, and yes, this snowmobile rack costs more than my entire snowmobile. So that's what a real snowmobile looks like, huh? Yeah. Welcome to the future. Yeah. Holy smokes, I bet you can go anywhere.
Paddles. I just put a brand new track on this year, so she's running well.
Wow.
It's not going to do well on the ice, though.
Well, you're going to be doing better than me.
I think so. Does it even have carbides on that thing? There's something to
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, okay. My next obstacle is to see if this thing has enough power to even make it up the ramp. And apparently, it's not as easy as it looks.
And I was off kilter one time, and I didn't make it up, and it tipped. I jumped off and landed right on the handlebars.
Ooh.
It was terrible.
Shoot. And it was a bit sketchy. But ultimately, I think it would have made it up just fine if the track had as deep of paddles as a normal modern sled. And I'm bringing this jerry can just in case this thing doesn't hold enough gas to get to the top of this mountain. There's exactly a gallon in there now, so we gotta see if we have enough fuel to make it to the top of this mountain. All right, we're here. Looks like we're gonna have to drive up some dirt before we get anywhere. And there is a beautiful fire lookout at the top of this mountain. And we're gonna try to get to that right now. It's gonna be really wild. And I had a pretty funny thought. How much was your rack?
The sled deck?
Yeah.
Oh, it's more than your snowmobile.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Well, we'll see if my snowmobile can make it to the top of this mountain, because if it can't, then it doesn't matter how cheap it was. If you can't get to the top of the mountain in the snow, then that kind of defeats the point of a snowmobile. All right, it's our first time on the snow. There's the clunk for a bird. Yeah. Already stuck. It's already buried.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Here, let me put this down, I'll help you.
Wow. She might be a groomer princess.
That sounds terrible.
It really does. Yeah. Look at my handlebars too.
Oh man.
Wow. We're in forward gear. Oh man. It moves! That's something. That was full throttle. We were off, crushing the ice on the Alibaba snowmobile, getting weird looks from everyone we saw on the trail because a single cylinder 4-stroke wide open is not something these snowmobilers have ever seen in a sled before. But it didn't take long to realize that this thing was working way better in the dirt than it was the second we hit snow. Oh, no. I really hope something's wrong here. The slow speeds had me pulling on the throttle cable directly to see if there was any more to give, if it was just an adjustment issue, but no, this thing is just slow. Yep, that's full. Apparently we're going 65 kilometers an hour. We were crushing the dirt, crushing the trail at about 4 to 5 miles an hour. For about a quarter mile, that is. How's it going? Oh man, this is so not good. That was absolute full throttle.
I believe it.
Oh man. I don't think it's going to be able to do anything.
No, how are the temps holding up? They doing okay?
I'm guessing the temp gauge doesn't work. It's still all the way down.
All right.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get it to the top.
Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. The first time the motor just randomly died was a quarter mile up the trail, but this time it did end up starting up again. So I tested out the steering, tested out a little side hilling. I'm pretty sure this completely flooded the engine.
Did it just die?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Already? That was quick.
Oh man. I thought it would make it further than this.
Yeah, that was hardly a mile.
Yeah, if even a mile. Oh. I think there's... Is that fuel?
Smells like fuel.
Yeah, fuel is just dripping from the filter. Is that a crankcase breather? Oh. That's probably supposed to be attached to something.
Yeah, it looks like it should be.
Oh my god. This is so ridiculous. There was a line coming from the head of the engine that I thought was a breather at first, but it did have a fastener at the end of it, so we looked for a while to see where this thing could possibly go to, but there was already a vacuum on the fuel pump, so we opted to just think that this was here for no reason and move on to the next thing. The side panels are very hard to remove when you're on trail, which isn't great considering you need to access these to even get to the pull start. Eventually, we took off the carburetor and I tilted it sideways and that bowl was flooded. But it's an electric carb, so I thought maybe it would handle itself, but this whole design is really weird. I've never seen anything like it before. There's actually a line going straight from the fuel pump to the intake after the carburetor, which I've never seen before.
Wonder how long we've been here.
I don't know. So after completely stripping down the snowmobile to pieces, basically learning nothing but getting some fuel out of the carburetor, or maybe it just needed to cool off, it started up again.
There we go, baby.
Was it just flooded?
It was just flooded. Need a little break.
No way.
I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. I'm a fuel injection specialist, not a carburetor specialist.
Do we keep moving forward? Or
Absolutely.
Do we turn around?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. Come on.
It starts up great.
Let's go.
My headset display is gone. I don't think I plugged it in correctly. These handlebars be up. It's such an uncomfortable riding position. Your hands are like this, like reverse of a chopper. It is godless. Just godless fast. Even if I'm not broken, I might have James Toby just so I can go faster. Uh-oh. She died back there, but it did start again. So
That would happen. I heard it. I heard.
Yeah.
I stopped to listen, and then I didn't hear anything.
I think it just flooded again.
Huh. All right.
But I'm being really easy on the throttle, and the throttle input doesn't really seem to change how fast I'm going very much.
Interesting.
I just hope it lets me pick up some speed downhill, you know?
Yeah.
But we got headlights and water, I mean...
We're all right.
For a while there, we were actually having a lot of fun. I was just going max speed on the trail. James would go ahead, go off trail, play around, then rejoin with me. We'd talk on our radios, so it was all good. All right, pit stop number 2. We're going to see if we can lean this thing out a bit. See if there's a air fuel mixer screw in here. That's our only hope, really. Well, we should have leaned it out a little bit. It started up. We'll see if she runs better now. I hope so. I could really use a little bit more power out of this thing. But if we can just send it without taking a pit stop, it won't take that long.
No.
It's these pit stops that are really getting us.
That first one was a little long. They're shrinking.
Yeah. I think it sounds better. It maybe sounded a little bit better, but the mixture screw was all the way in, and as we gained elevation, it was definitely getting worse. How much of this is a carburation issue? I'm really not sure. This snowmobile is just a pile. It's not wanting to go any tighter than that.
Sounds better.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it sounds any better from when it started.
Well, I wonder if it's a heat issue now,
Right.
because sitting, it's worked for a little bit every
Right.
time it sat.
Right.
And I actually don't see how this is cooled at all.
There's a thing right here.
Well, there's an oil cooler.
Is that all that is? An oil cooler?
Yeah, but that's it. So
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason that snowmobiles aren't air cooled.
yeah, snowmobiles have heat exchangers, but this one doesn't. So
I'm gonna hold on to it. I guess it's as tight as it goes.
It's cool just to be out here.
Oh, it's the best. I love snowmobiling so much.
Yeah.
We started the day with a fully charged battery, and about 2 hours into our adventure, the battery was completely dead. So we had to start pulling off the cover and pull starting it every single time we had a pit stop, which became more and more frequent.
Well, it's either flooding itself or getting too hot. Either way, it does not like full throttle, and it does not like it when the road gets steeper. This track's spinning, the motor's overworking. Snowmobiles should be able to just run full out, but this doesn't have a heat exchanger, which is when the snow kicking up on the tunnel cools the engine. It just has an oil cooler up front. It doesn't go fast enough to keep that any cool, I don't think. Also, it could be that the stator isn't giving enough power to the battery, or the battery isn't holding a charge. There's a lot of things that could be going wrong with this thing, to be honest. But the good news is, the sun's going down. Time to take off the filter. And the snow's gonna get harder. This method of having the pull start here is just so strange. Okay.
We actually made it quite a few miles. The sun started to set, and every snowmobiler passing checked in on me because my sled sounded so bad, which was really nice of them.
There she goes. She's hot. Wow. This thing does not shed snow. I've been carrying around some serious pounds. Holy smokes. That is crazy. It's hard to imagine anything that this sled would actually be good at. Oh man. I was hoping it would at least kind of work, you know? That's not the case.
Here's James just effortlessly flying up the mountain on a brand name legit sled. Now, I wasn't expecting much from my Alibaba sled, but I was hoping it could conquer the groomed trails.
And that's what a real snowmobile can do. I can't even make it up the groomed trail. How is it up there?
Snowmobiles are so fun. They are the most fun. You know what they can do? They can go places you can't even walk.
Oh, they really can. This one can't though. Oh man.
All in all, we made it about 4 miles, not even halfway to our Fire Lookout Summit goal. Eventually, even after letting it completely cool down, it just wouldn't start anymore.
So we're going from ×1 here, ×5. That little speck on that clearing is where we were trying to go. No way we're getting that done before midnight, so I reckon we should just put up the bird, get a few B-rolls, and head home.
But luckily, we saw that coming, so we threw on some straps, and this is where it starts to get challenging. just checked the distance. We made it 6.2 miles. And she is totally done.
I think it's gonna be a miserable ride back for you. My snowmobile kicks up so much snow. You're gonna be pelted the whole way.
All
Plus,
right.
it's getting harder as the day goes on.
All right. Let's see. Hey, I'll be going a lot faster though.
Oh yeah. Dude, I was probably 2 feet from ending up in 6 feet of water.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean, it would have been from the snow to the bottom of the water would have been 6 feet. Here's where I am. And here's where I almost ended up. Not good.
I don't know if she's going anywhere ever again.
She's not making any power.
Something is seriously wrong. All right, I'm in neutral. I was getting absolutely pelted by ice balls, and the tie rods weren't strong enough to keep the skis straight, so I was constantly on the edge of falling over. This was so challenging. Okay, I fell off. Maybe even like around this A-arm and this A-arm.
Do around the arms.
Yeah.
This method worked way better. At least my skis were straight so I wasn't falling over, but I was getting absolutely annihilated by ice balls for miles. And eventually we came across a shortcut, but I'd be on my own braking force, which is basically nothing with a track this small.
If I lose control of this sled, it's going straight into a tree. So I'm just gonna stay going as slow as possible. Uh-oh. That's full brake. I'm just like actually sledding. Oh, I hope there isn't an abruptly sharp turn. I almost felt like I was snowmobiling for a second.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Going down that hill that fast, I actually realized the suspension on this sled isn't terrible. So all I had to do was get blasted by some ice clumps for a couple more miles, and then when we got to dirt, we were going to switch around, grab the truck, but the sled started, so it must be an elevation issue with the carburetor. When I got back to the garage, I realized that this was already breaking. And I sent a message to the Alibaba seller. That is a breather line, so why there was a fitting on it, no one knows. And yeah, I can't recommend you buy that snowmobile.